what actually 100% lived up to the hype. First time I loaded up Google Earth on a tablet, I knew I had officially reached living in the future status. Both Hubble and Kepler space telescopes. Deep field images showing thousands of galaxies in just a tiny patch of sky, and the discovery of thousands of exoplanets that are so different from planets in our own solar system. What better could astronomers hope to find up there? Being healthy. It feels so good to feel good. I thought I would hate cutting out soda and junk food because they taste so good and made me happy. But I was so heavy, knee pain, couldn't sleep, miserable most of the time. Now it's normal to just feel good. It's actually crazy to think I lived like that for so long. It's worth it to put the effort into your health. Who cares if it takes a long time? You'll thank yourself. Having your own place to live without roommates. Neighbors chilly. Moved in and everybody wouldn't shut up about this guy's chilly, to the point it was annoying to hear about. The first cold day that fall I had it. Holy shit, now I won't shut up about it. Seeing the Milky Way for the first time. Blew my mind what many don't see because of city lights. Visiting Machu Picchu and other Inca ruins. It was amazing. They don't tell you that there are just random llamas grazing on these ancient stone terraces, or that there are huge blue butterflies everywhere, or about the tourist city that has sprung up around the ruins of Machu Picchu, or about how crazy the city of Lima is. Growing up in the big city, or what we'd consider to be one out here, I had never had an interest in nature or outside. One day after school my parents arrived as usual. What was unusual was the fully packed car. Understanding hits me like a truck. Camping? Oh no, not a plushy electric camping experience, my father confirms. We're going to Botswana, the true great outdoors. I sulk, of course. All the way there, we get to, well, wherever we were, set up camp, and I jump straight in my tent to continue my pity party. Some hours later and my parents still haven't lit a fire. I can hear their voices faintly, upset, but more because of their disregard for my tantrum. I emerge from the tent and all thoughts of my remarks disappear. The sight that greets me is, for lack of a better word, awesome. Stars. More than I thought possible. They covered every inch of my vision from one horizon to the other behind me. Between the blanket of stars, nebulae of every color are visible. My father laughs at my expression as I desperately crane my neck to see it all. Let me tell you folks, perfectly dark night sky 100% lives up to the hype. Therapy. Yeah, that's sappy as hell, but it made me feel a lot better. Still working on myself. But my psychologist is a saint and she does all she can to help. Flex tape, flex seal, flex glue, etc. Weird flex, but okay. My wife's deviled eggs. She talked these things up for months when we first started dating. Her mom talked about them, her dad, her sister, everyone in her family loves them. Then I ate one. It was life-changing. I can totally relate. When I met my ex, he wouldn't shut up about making the best scrambled eggs. And I was skeptical because I thought there is nothing special about scrambled eggs. When he finally made them for me, they were the best eggs I've had my whole life. F you cheating lying prick. But you do make the best scrambled eggs. Divorcing a terrible person, the sense of relief, freedom and having my old self back again cannot be expressed in words. I would marry her all over again and divorce her just to experience that feeling again. Rain X. Shit sounds like it should be sold through an infomercial, but it really does improve visibility when it's rainy by adding a Teflon-like coating to your windshield. You don't need to use your wipers as often because it just slides right off your windshield as you're going down the road. The Battle of Helm's Deep. The Instant Pot, at least for me. I use that thing all the time. Totally worth every cent, and I turned my family onto the Instant Pot as well. Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. Didn't think I could possibly like a superhero movie to the point of watching it 6 times. Forcing all of my friends to watch it and listening to the soundtrack on repeat. My animation major friend kept raving about it and I promised I'd eventually watch it. When I did, I was in shock at how good it was. Weighted blanket. I've never slept so well. It adds enough weight to be comforting, but it vents heat well so you don't overheat. Squatty potty. Let that hate flow right out of you. Antibiotics. Thanks Sir Alexander Fleming, Mr. Selman Abraham Waxman, Halopi, the numerous men of bacterial culture, and of course Sir Louis Pasteur. Visiting Japan. Used to be kind of a weeb when I was a teen, but that phase died out when I grew into my 20s. My sir and I planned a trip to see my brother and his Japanese girlfriend just to stay in touch, even though I would have rather loved to see Florence or Marrakesh instead, but boy oh boy was I wrong. Japan really brought the kid inside me out again. Getting glasses with the right prescription and realizing you're meant to see leaves on trees from 10 feet away. Jurassic Park helicopter tour of Kauai Island in Hawaii. It's about $400 for 1.5 hours. But it's one of the most life-changing things I ever did with my dad. Out of one window, you saw whales break the surface. And then you zoom around the island in and out of cliffs and rocks and mountains and dozens of mini waterfalls. And then you land a few yards from where the Jurassic Park helicopter pad used to be, and you walk up to the 500-foot falls. It's really just an amazing trip to see. B-Day. First time I ever used one was in Korea. I was always opposed to the idea but kept remembering people on Reddit raving about them. So I looked to my left and started pushing buttons on the wall. Was immediately startled but then surprised that the water was actually warm from the get-go instead of coming out ice cold first. I began firing the water beam at my asshole like a CNC machine making something. Spray the left butthole lip. Spray the right butthole lip. Directly in the center, etc. Once I was done shooting drinkable water into my anus, I studied a picture of what looked like bacon coming out of somebody's ass. I assumed this meant hot air. It indeed was. Hot air. I probably sat there for 5 minutes blow drying my booty hole and the back of my ballsack. Once I got up, my entire ass crack felt clean and rejuvenated. I felt like a new man. I felt like royalty amongst peasants. I spent the remainder of my trip in Korea mad that some bathrooms didn't have one. 10 out of 10 will do again. Very well written. It was like I was right there on the toilet with you. Into the Spider-Verse. As a 37-year-old comic fan, it made me happy to live in this version of reality. Hawaii. It has been hyped as a beautiful worry-free paradise. But when I went there, it was a beautiful worry-free paradise. 10 out of 10 would go again. The Nintendo Switch. I hadn't bought a Nintendo system since the GameCube. I wasn't thrilled about the Wii or the Wii U, so I was hesitant to buy into Nintendo's new system when it was announced. I bought it and was 100% back as a Nintendo fanboy. That system is fantastic. The fact that it is both portable and a home console is amazing to me. And yes, it is underpowered compared to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but it makes up for it in its versatility. Also, I can turn it off instantly and come back to exactly where I left off. Brilliant. Those little Philadelphia cheesecake bars that are no longer made. Bring 'em back. Love, or more so, a solid relationship. I love my partner so much, and I love how we know each other in and out and are just generally on the same wavelength. I'm not a really traditional person and I always felt out of place for not wanted the norm out of life. For example, we bought a nice, spacious home big enough to have kids in the future, and I hated it. Hated taking care of the house. Didn't really want kids. Just generally felt trapped. When I told my partner, he was like, "Yeah, this is too much house for us. Let's sell it." When I told him I was having second thoughts about kids, I found out he was too. And even little things. Like if we were planning to go out but I decide I don't want to, I'm a huge introvert. He's like, "Yeah, let's stay in AMD, have a movie night." Being with him, he made me realize I don't have to feel guilty or wrong for forging my own path. Now we've sold the house and live in a low-maintenance apartment. We are child-free and plan to buy an RV and travel the US. Personally, sex. Teenager me would be both surprised and disappointed at current me for not having a lot more sex with my girlfriend. Back then it was inconceivable that one would not have sex all the time. It was possible. But I'm old and tired now. The Gorge. Everyone here in WA hypes it up as one of the best concert venues in the world. It really is breathtaking the first time you step over the hill and see the sprawling landscape. Next on the list is Red Rocks. I hear that that's the only other venue that really compares in terms of natural beauty. Smart devices. but especially smartphones. I remember watching the keynote in 2007 and thinking this was just an Apple gimmick. 12 years later and there's no way I'd willingly go back to not having my smartphone. I wouldn't be typing this right now. In 1980, The Empire Strikes Back. Christian McCaffrey. The Breaking Bad series finale. Scuba diving the Great Barrier Reef. One of those things where no picture or video can possibly do it justice. Nowhere else in the world can you see such incredibly beautiful wildlife. Totally up close and personal. Truly one of Earth's great wonders. Halo 3. Sonic redesign. Boobs. My very first trip to Manhattan. My sister and I booked a 10-day stay at the Roosevelt in Midtown. We land at LaGuardia from Dallas and the airport employees were super friendly when they saw me in my UT Dallas hoodie. I even got a hug. Like, what? So we go out of the terminal and the car service to Manhattan calls us to let us know they overbooked and ran out of sedans and SUVs. So they sent a stretch limo to pick us up. The trip was full of lucky turns. We got very last-minute front and center seats to the Radio City Rockettes for $60 each. The city just lived up to every expectation I had since childhood. I love it. Losing weight and exercising. I've lost nearly 50 pounds since April. I watched a video I had taken and could hear myself breathing. I was sitting down when I filmed it. It really freaked me out. That, and diabetes is on both sides of my family. I decided to crack down and get healthier. I am working on intuitive eating, and I run 3 times a week. I'm the strongest I've been since middle school. My asthma is only a problem every once in a while, and I can do basically anything I want without getting winded. It's freaking amazing. I had never replaced clothes because they were too big. But now I need all new clothes for a second time. I buy 85% second hand. I can't describe how being excited to run makes me feel. It's truly something else. I sleep better because my bed is more comfortable and I'm in less pain. I feel more confident and sexy. It definitely makes a difference in my relationship. I'm more affectionate because I feel better about myself, which makes my husband more affectionate. I have successfully taught my child healthier eating habits. If she's not hungry, she won't eat, not even sweets. It took me 30 years to learn that, and I still have hard days. If nothing else on this list were true, this would make it worth it. The first Deadpool movie. I was worried as that it wasn't gonna be violent, crude, or emotional, but it checked off every box. The point where I knew it was gonna be great was when Deadpool dropped into the SUV, and the one goon got thrown out and splattered on the freeway sign. SpaceX rockets landing themselves. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I was excited for it from the first trailer and it's been my favorite game ever since it came out. Being an identical twin and moving out of the house. Got a sense of identity for the first time. I was on a last-name basis with all my friends growing up, getting compared to each other constantly, and getting credit blame for each other's actions. Fantastic experience getting away from that. Breath of the Wild. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young at Red Rocks. Dogs. Every day I walk through the door home from anywhere and my dog is so pumped and happy to see me that I become happy. If I have a bad day he makes me happier. If I have a good day he makes me happier. They are so pure, we don't deserve them. Smash Brothers Ultimate. Texas Barbecue. So far, The Mandalorian. This might sound strange, but a hot bath. The first book in the Hunger Games trilogy. Logan. Google Glass. Haha, just kidding.